Right, okay, there's a block scene there, so I will just try and jump in quickly. Um, Now, if anyone has watched my previous... Oh no, I'm not on air. Well, no, not on air, but the microphone is still working. So I'll try not to say anything too important until we're actually on air. I'm just loading the game up now. It should take, I don't know, 30 seconds or so. So I will do the intro. Oh, broadcasting gameplay and microphone audio. Okay, right, so we're on now. Okay, the loading screen has happened, so we're on. So sorry about the first 30 seconds. I didn't realise that the title screen was a blocked scene, apparently. Obviously connected to my data center and choosing my character. So those people who have, those one or two people who have watched my videos before, know that I don't really like broadcasting Final Fantasy gameplay because it is dull if you're watching it. I mean, an MMO is a long-winded game for a reason, so you keep paying for it and you keep playing it. It's not unusual to grind for months to get an item, you know. So to watch that over an hour is really boring. So I sort of thought I'd do this video for people who were sort of considering maybe investing in Final Fantasy XIV. You know, people wondering, well, it's three or 4 years down the line since the game came out. Am I too late to start playing it? Because Stormblood, that's the wrong game. Stormblood is coming out in June around my birthday, which is great. And it's the second expansion, third installment of the game from A Realm Reborn, Heavensward and Stormblood. Stormblood will raise the level cap to 70, which is fantastic. It will give us all sorts of new fun things to play, an entire new game. There will be diving as well as flying, so as a form of travel you'll be able to dive into certain oceans and places, which is a lot of fun, and you will be able to do lots of other things. You know, there's a couple of new classes coming out. I think there's Dancer and there's definitely Red Mage is coming out. And I think there's a rumour that Samurai might be part of a future update. So yeah, this is for people who might be considering buying the game and starting, thinking it's a long way since it came out. Am I too late? Will I be constantly behind? So as a point of reference, I got this game for my brother for Christmas, and he has started playing it. He's around level 40 now, and he's had it for about maybe 3 weeks. The level cap at the moment is 60, so he's done it pretty quickly to get up, and they've actually released mechanisms for you to be able to level up very quickly in this game. So I, at the moment, have those, all but 4 classes up to 60, and that's not taking me very long at all. It took a long time in the beginning, in the vanilla game, A Realm Reborn, just because the mechanisms weren't there. So it was a lot of grinding dungeons, grinding endgame content to be able to get to that level. But now they've released something called the Palace of the Dead, which is a very quick way to level up. And you level up twice in it, really. You level up in the Palace of the Dead very quickly. So by floor 40, you should be at level 60, so you'll have all of your moves available to that class, so you can work out your endgame rotations way before you actually need them for the game, which is really helpful for DPS, and, well, really DPS, to be honest. And, no, the display flowers I want to repair. Have I already repaired? I've already sort of repaired. So that's very useful, so don't worry about the level grind taking you too long. The only real long part of the game is going to be going through the storyline, which I suggest you do, because it's a good storyline. You know, parts of it's like any storyline are dull and a bit grindy, but Heavensward really kicks up with the storyline. It's very good. And yeah, I mean, you think that I'll never be able to get to the top tier of gear and things like that, and you might not be able to. I mean, the top level gear at the moment, I think, is 275, which is raid gear. So that will be the gear from, yeah, all the end Alexanders. Yeah, requires progress. See, I've not done any of it because the Alexander Savages on the last tier are very, very hard and take a long time to get down. But if you can do it, there is good gear waiting for you. I do grind gear, so weekly dungeon raids to acquire an item to get one piece of gear per week, really. And that's been 3 weeks, so I've got 3. Plus my relic weapon, and the relic weapon is a different quest line, so I just grinded that out, and that's now finished. So I think 270 will be the top level for grind gear until the expansion comes out, you know, because the anima quest for the purple relic weapon has now ended. So that is the top level relic weapon, which for my Dark Knight I have. Very cool sort of runic looking Celtic sword thing. I'm already working on my second one actually, because I'm a glutton for punishment. So yeah, so the top end gear, you can sort of skip phases. So every update they update the gear. The new dungeon that comes out will have the gear below it. So the gear for the last raid, Dun's Skaith, I think it's called, or Dun's Safe or something, is 260. So run that once a week, you've then got a full character with 260 gear when you hit level 60. Before that, it's 245 on the newest dungeon, so run that to get the gear that makes you strong enough to do the last sort of easy raid. And then it's just grinding currency to get the 260, 270 gear. So really, you'll be able to jump all these gear phases, all these gear tiers, if you like, to get to the end one. So whereas I've been doing it every time they've updated it, I've been getting new gear, new gear, new gear. My brother will be able to get up to the final dungeon, get his 245 gear, start running for 260 gear all the time, buying 260 gear for scripture, and then upgrading that to 270 gear. So really, his end game will be mainly trying to complete things for the sake of having done them. You know, whereas he'll be able to grind that top end gear pretty quickly. So it's definitely not too late for anyone who wants to buy it and start playing it. It is a fantastic game. Some of the great things about this game is the community. I mean, you meet some salty players, but really compared to WoW and other MMOs, really it's not that bad. I mean, people here are die-hard Final Fantasy fans, and obviously some of them take it very seriously, so when you fail on a raid they can get quite annoyed. But really, the community is very supportive and very good. So, you know, my brother has never played an MMO before, never played WoW, he's coming into this cold, and he's getting on very well. You know, I help him run dungeons, and I can, just purely for the fact that I can give him tactics over the microphone on the bosses. So, yeah. And yeah, as you can see, the graphics and level design are beautiful. This is currently, we're in my house that I own, which I've been slowly furnishing through bits of seasonal gear and new bits that come out. So yeah, I mean that was the main thing. I didn't go back to WoW because I don't own a PC apart from one for work, and that isn't powerful enough to run WoW at any sort of decent level. And I know PCs are the master race and so, but there's a lot of problems with PC. I mean, programs are unreliable, possibility of viruses and crashing, because you're not just be using that PC for playing games. I mean, you'll be using it to stream, you'll be using it to download maybe less than legal content, and with that comes the inherent risk of viruses, and the last thing you want is to take your gaming machine out of commission from something that you've done. And a PlayStation is a very inexpensive way to access video games. You know, it's great. It's 200 quid now. It's 200 quid for the slim one, and it's phenomenal. So I was just going to, I need one of them. I'm just going to run this game and talk to you about some of the positive points and some of the negative points about Final Fantasy, and whether you should invest in it or not, to be honest. So I'm going to run one of the newest dungeons. It'll be somehow hard, or that wall one. It's called, it begins with a B. Baelsar's Wall, which are the 2 new dungeons that came out in the last update, which have the 245 gear. So here we go. So this should be quite a short video, because it's not going to take long to sort of talk about this game. And to be honest, I found that when I was playing WoW, there was a lot of content missed. You know, I came into WoW maybe 3 years after WoW had come out, and yeah, there was so much going on by then. I mean, farming for mounts, farming content, and it all just got very confusing. I mean, WoW had become this sort of bloated kind of almost mess. You know, it actually became quite difficult to realise where I had to go and everything. But I will say, because this game is still in its infancy, it has... There we go, let's just pull these guys over this geyser, which will give them a vulnerability stack every sort of 5 seconds. Oh, let's avoid that. So you can already see the similarities in WoW and the combat system. You know, there's obviously combos going and rotations that people need to keep up with, and also the AoE is marked quite clearly on the ground. So combat in this game is pretty easy. Like WoW, it'll drip feed you moves, but because it's on console and PC, the moveset is much smaller than WoW, meaning you haven't got a huge... You've got some choice, but not a huge array of choice between the moves, and really your rotation is the thing you'll stick to unless it's extenuating circumstances or solo play. Then we'll go on to the next mob and pick up the next 2. So, already, gameplay is much simpler. So it's much easier for you to pick it up and get on with it. And like I say, Palace of the Dead is a cracking way of learning your rotation before you need it. So you can jump into level 60 with all your moves and be an effective DPS straight off the bat, which is obviously very important because it's going to annoy you when you're not doing as much DPS as every other person out there. Let's put a bit of cooldown on because I'm taking some heavy damage. And as I said before, graphics, beautiful. I mean, the point of having it on PlayStation and PC is it doesn't have to come up with a load of graphic settings. I mean, PlayStation runs a decent amount, a decent sort of graphic setting compared... Oh god, don't stand on that. Oh no, I've been abilities, alright, it's fine. Probably don't need that cooldown, but be safe than sorry, I have taken a fair bit of damage. 5, 4, let's pop my panic button, which will keep me on 1 health forever. I say forever, it will be until I get healed above half. And the last one's down. So as you can see, it's a... Well, actually this isn't the greatest level because it's just mist over there, but some of the settings in this are absolutely beautiful. And the sound and everything, like all the birds chirping and the waterfalls going. It's a really sort of good looking game. And to run WoW at that sort of level, you need a pretty expensive PC. And even then, WoW is very clogged up with people and content. Even that might slow you down a bit. Not saying anything bad against WoW. I was an avid WoW player for a long time. And I came to this game because it was available for console. And I was just getting really tired of the community on WoW. Everyone was kind of intolerant. And if you didn't know it, if you didn't know a new piece of content in the first few days, people would be calling you a noob and a scrub and get good and things, and it was just sort of like disappointing because you think at the end of the day you've paid your money for this game. What right does anyone else have to tell you that you're not good at something you've spent money on? Move over here because he's about to explode. There we go. And bang. I suppose a negative of this game would be the story isn't to my taste. WoW has one of the greatest stories in what I would call video gaming history. It's got a fantastic story with really cool characters. There's so much third-party literature. The movies come out, the art behind it, everything. You can research the history of WoW until you're blue in the face and still not know everything. You know, it's a really sort of... It's a grand game. And I like that whole sort of fantasy of magic and swords and the undead and demons and things. It's, you know, what guy doesn't love sort of stories like that? I would say Final Fantasy takes a very sort of Japanese stance on storytelling. Every character is very good looking, and everyone's quite soft, you know. I mean, no one swears, no one. It's sort of not real, you know. It's sort of like you're in a bit of a Japanese soap opera. But I have to say, with the Final Fantasy, with the Heavensward expansion, the storyline did get... Oh no, that's going to hurt me. Let's put a cooldown on that. The storyline did get darker. You know, there were some deaths and some quite moving scenes. So they are getting better with their storytelling. And so really, that's the only negative I can see, to be honest. It used to be, I would say, the Party Finder wasn't that great. The Raid Finder still isn't that great, but they've recently done an update where the Party Finder now goes across data centers. So if I'm on Lich, that's my server, and I create a party, no longer does it just appear on Lich, it will appear across all European servers. So where there used to be maybe 5 to 10 parties, there are now up to 100 parties, which you can join across servers, which is great. So for anyone wanting to farm content and things, your party will fill up a lot faster. I mean, you used to have to wait for up to an hour for your party to fill up, and they've really sorted that issue out, which was great. And to be honest, it wasn't really an issue that I knew. Oh, do you want to go over here? Okay, we're going to go over here. It wasn't really an issue that I was aware of, because I don't use the party finder to recruit that much. I use it to join, and if there wasn't a party, I'd be like, okay, well, I'll just go and do something else. But now there is such a huge amount of content, and it's got a really active sort of member base. I mean, when the new trial came out, there were dozens and dozens and upon dozens of parties every day for training, for practicing, for oh no, that was the wrong one, for killing and farming. I mean, this is new content. People will literally grind this content out until it's all done. And the best thing is, if you are worried, like my brother is, about farming vanilla content from A Realm Reborn, you can also, I think you can still do it in WoW, where you can run unsynced parties. So no longer will you have to sync down to level 50 and your gear level syncs, so your health is rubbish and your damage is rubbish. And it's a proper challenge. You can go in with your current gear level, your current character level, and literally go in with maybe 3 to 5 people and destroy the content over and over again until you get it. That's how I did the ponies in A Realm Reborn, rather than grinding for weeks and months on end. Oh, no, okay, we're going over here. Sorry, I'm sort of not paying attention. And, yeah, making it a real struggle, having to devote quite a long time. I managed to do all the ponies probably within a week, just by unsyncing it and grinding it that way, which was much better. So if you're worried about catching up on content, there are always dedicated groups wanting to farm mounts, because at the end of the day, mounts are probably the thing that keep coming back to this game over and over again, and they know that, so they release mounts pretty regularly. Here we go. Oh, Scheiße. Got hit by that. And the game doesn't really charge a PlayStation 4 game price, if you know what I mean. I mean, Final Fantasy at the moment, with Heavensward, I bought for my brother at £24. I mean, for a PlayStation game, you know, they go in upwards of £50, and with the deluxe edition, the season passes, you're looking at £70. So when they come out, they are full price. I say full price, they're probably about £40 for the standard edition. I always try and go for the collectors, which is 50, because you get a mount with it. And you know, to be honest, they drop off in value pretty quickly. Whereas I think WoW holds its value a bit more. So what else in this game do I like? Gathering and crafting, pretty similar to World of Warcraft, to be honest. I mean, if you're a casual crafter like me, you just want to get everything to level 60 and have a decent gear, it's not very difficult. I don't dedicate character time to perfecting crafting. I just want everything at 60, so if there is a sort of mid-level item that I want, I haven't got to go and buy a load of items. I can just make them, to be honest, and it's a good way of making money. I will say this game has a problem with guild sellers, like WoW, but I think it's less prolific than WoW. If you go to a main city into the marketplace, there will be some pleb of a character shouting about free guild and inexpensive guild here and there, but it's not as bad as WoW was. And the one thing Square Enix do, which I am still not sure I agree with, is actively punishing players for buying guild. So they used to ban your account. See, I just can't get out of the way of that. They used to ban your account, whereas now it's a suspension for, I think, a few days, maybe a couple of weeks, and they will ban the guild seller if they can find them, which usually, you know, this is just a twink. So, is it twink? Is that a word? I can't remember if that's a word or not. I didn't sleep very well last night, but yeah, so if you want a guild sell, I would say guild buy. It is definitely active. You will see characters with very large houses which go in the region of 16 million, and you know, for some people it's worth it. There are active FCs out there who sell services, so people for 5 million, they'll farm a mount for you, with you in the group, which I honestly have been tempted by. I mean, I try and sit at oh no, get out of the way of that. I try and sit between 10 and 15 million at any one time. I don't get out of the way of it for some reason. And oh god, we're getting murked. Yeah, so gil can grow on trees if you want to, but you know, it's up to you. It's up to you. It's at the end of the day, it's your game. I don't agree that they should ban people from doing it, because I don't see... Well, does it hurt? I suppose it would affect... I suppose, yeah, actually, I suppose if everyone did it, it would affect the market board prices to disproportionate levels like we saw in World of Warcraft, where sort of quest items and items needed for complex crafting recipes were going for huge amounts of money. Whereas by the way they do it, it's not that bad. Right, let's just take some of this loot. Another great thing about this game is, which obviously I can't comment on WoW, I've not played it for a number of years, is the fact that they're constantly releasing content. I mean, I remember before Heavensward came out, the update before Heavensward, they released the Gold Saucer, a massive piece of content which introduced a completely new side to the game. You know, there was now gambling, chocobo racing. They released a triple triad card game, and it was honestly a massive piece of content. I know you want to run over there, but let's have an easy one for a little bit. Let's wait. He's going to do it. Yeah, he's done it. Let's stun him out of it. I'll try and time it so they're both the same, but they weren't. And yeah, I think you really get for your $7 or $8.99 a month. You really get a lot of game. I mean, no sooner had they finished the New Year Chinese. Was it Chinese New Year? Yeah, it was Chinese New Year patch where there was a quest and some more items and a few bits and pieces for you. Then they straight away got in with the Valentine's Day stuff. Oh god, that's coming up soon, isn't it? Mustn't forget that. So you are, whilst intermittently grinding for your gear, doing PvP, doing the card game, doing the chocobo racing, whatever you want to focus your gameplay on, or even leveling up new characters, there is always new stuff for you to do, new stuff for you to dip your wick in, so you feel like the game is constantly giving you something, which is huge. You know, it's greatly important to have stuff like that. I know WoW's pretty hot on there. Actually, to be honest, I've got no idea. I don't want to comment on that because I don't know whether that's still the case. But there's definitely more for you to be getting on with in this game. It's definitely worth the asking price, the initial cost, and the monthly charge. You know, I'm a very frugal person myself, so if this game wasn't delivering month on month, I wouldn't do it, and I wouldn't recommend it to people. I'm really struggling to think of negatives for this game. I am a Final Fantasy fanboy, so I do love seeing the bosses from old Final Fantasies come out in raids and things like that, and seeing them all reimagined in sort of the I don't know what generation we're on in consoles, 4th, 5th generation. You know, it's I am pretty biased to it, but I honestly can't think of many negative things to say. I mean, if you want to grind for your relic weapon, which is a horribly long grind, that's up to you. If you don't, you can get the same level weapon. Obviously it won't like glow and have the sparkly stuff on it. Let's do that. But then you're completely free to do that. I mean, there is really a game level in this game for all kinds of players. The more casual player like me, who plays it every day and doesn't mind the grind, will do the once a week easier grind for gear, which might be 5 item levels below, so 270 rather than 275, I think, or maybe it's 280, I can't remember. The more serious gamer who wants to have a dedicated static group to raid every week will do the Alexander Savages, and they will have the gear which they can show off and the titles they can show off to say, I do this, I do the hardest part of the game every week to get gear, which is great and good on them. But I can't dedicate time to do that. I sort of ad hoc play when I can. When I get a few hours here and there, I'll jump on and play it. So yeah, don't feel like you're only going to get 50% of the game if you don't do all the hardest content, because I most certainly don't. I've still not done when I joined the game, Bahamut had 2 tiers, and I've still not done them. You know, just because the game moved on and I moved on with it. And I'm... oh, go stun him. So I'm... oh, I missed him. So, yeah, and I feel like I do plenty in this game. I think I've got maybe 30... what have I got? 34 mounts, over 100 minions, load of titles, good gear. I feel completely fulfilled in this game, you know? I mean, doing your dailies and things, I mean, there are daily tribe quests to earn, like there are in WoW, to earn reputation. If you get those to max, you can buy a mount, some glamour gear and some furniture for your house. So there is definitely decent rewards into everything. I would say the grind isn't as bad as World of Warcraft. I mean, if you do sort of the top end dungeon every day and then your weeklies, and if you want to do dailies, you're more than welcome to. You could be on this game really probably about an hour a day, if that, and still get the same thing everyone else is getting. So it's less time consuming. And the crafting you haven't got to do. Someone in your FC, which will be your sort of guild and group, will have... oh, why are you putting it there? Don't put it in the middle. Put it on the outskirts. Will have a crafter or someone to help you. Because there are people who dedicate solely to crafting the best gear. And that's how they want to play the game, so that's you know, definitely up to them. So, yeah, as you can see, like, talking constantly over a stream whilst playing a top-end dungeon, I'm not having to concentrate overly hard. We've got to kill him quickly. And he's dead. And then kill this boy. So if you're an inexperienced gamer or you're not sure how MMOs work, I would say this one, you can jump in completely cold to this and you'll pick it up very quickly. I mean, the way it drip feeds you moves and content, you're constantly going through content, but you don't realise the game is preparing you for different mechanics. So at level 30, it'll introduce you to the turn-away mechanic, where a boss or an enemy will start casting a cooldown, and it'll have an eye over them. And it'll give you a very easy move that won't really do that much to you. Oh no, oh, wrong one. See, I do have to concentrate slightly. It will give you a very easy move that won't hurt you too much, but you'll then learn that someone will say, oh, if you turn your back to the boss on this move, it won't affect you. So that's in your memory for the level 60 and higher, you know, the higher up content where that happens, and you really do have to turn away, otherwise you can wipe the raid. And it will introduce you into dancing mechanics and things like that. So, yeah, it drip feeds you, so without realising you're gaining experience, you are gaining a lot of experience in how to do new content, which I think the game does very cleverly. Can we get him down in time? Yeah, we can. And then the other two. I'm about to die, I'm about to die, I'm dead, I am dead, I am so dead. Kite the boss. Kite the boss. Kite the boss. Heal me, please. Heal me, please. That's 5 blocks of break. Brother, help me out there. Let's get the boss back. We're going to do another one, and we'll go behind him. Yeah, I honestly can't think of many negative things to say. Only thing that I'm disappointed with is the overall storyline. It could be a lot darker for my taste. Very good. The player base is absolutely huge. It's not as big as World of Warcraft, but then again the game isn't as big as World of Warcraft. So you're never without friends and people to play with and everything to build. Yeah, no, I can't think of a bad thing to say about it. I'm sure lots of people can think of bad things to say, but this game ticks most boxes for me. And the emphasis isn't on PvP, which is what I was disappointed with. I was going to invest heavily in, what's it called, Division, the Tom Clancy game, but it is very heavily weighted towards PvP, and I don't enjoy PvP. I think it's combative and yeah, it brings out a lot of negative things in people. Oh, let's roll for this loot quickly. We've got scouting, so that is the ninja loot. So oh, I've already got one, so I can't have it. And let's commend that healer for that excellent healing he did. And we'll jump out. Well done, everyone. Yeah, I don't like PvP. It feels personal when you don't do well in PvP, and people tend to be quite rude to you. And it's definitely more so in this game than any other game, that people take more affront if you're not that good at PvP. But PvE, everyone's sort of happy, and you all learn at the same pace. So it's much quick drink. It's much more relaxing. And you know, for a game that's not been out that long, to introduce houses and apartments and the amount of content they've introduced, and the side quests. Some of the side quests in this game are generally what you want to play this game for. So the Hildebrand side quests are the funniest side quests, and they're great. Like, each side quest takes you in a different sort of, it tickles a different bone of you. So some of them are very serious, some of them are very funny and light-hearted, and you sort of get episodes of them, and they play it like episodes. So you genuinely are looking forward to the next one, you know, and the rewards are great and things. So yeah, if you're looking at an MMO to play for just all-round grandness, then I would definitely recommend it. Let's see how my retainers are doing. Selling 3 items, so have you sold a few? Oh, you sold nothing. Oh no. I've got no money. Right, let's see what we got on the old market board. I always have a look, because you never know when someone's going to accidentally price something ridiculously cheaply. Ooh. So these are the things I want. I want new suits for my... Oh, there's 12 of them now. 1.2 million. God, they're grinding that horribly. 12 of them. 2 million. 1 million. See, now, I don't buy any of these for the millions, because the Hive and the Expanse one were about 1 million until a couple of updates came out, and now look at them. They're, you know, 250,000, going down to 200,000 if there's lots of them, because the content gets a lot easier to grind, so there's a lot more of them dropping. You know, but this is the next thing I want, the Night Pegasus whistle. That's the mount from Palace of the Dead. I'm not sure how you get it. You get it from gold sacks, which are sacks that you find randomly throughout Palace. And at the moment, I'm only finding iron-trimmed sacks. I'm not sure how you get gold, you know, but eventually that'll happen for me, so we'll see. But I've got 34 mounts, so I'm not exactly starved for mounts in this game. Right, what next to do? I will do a daily, because I need to get the rep up to maximum to unlock a new quest. So this is going to be the Moogle Beast Tribe quests. I've already got it to the 7 out of 8 rep levels, so it's just a few more days and I will have it up to maximum. I've already got the other 2 up to maximum. And yeah, it says when you get all 3 up, there's a new quest, so I'll be quite curious to see what that is. And the great thing is, if you have one crafter at level 60, say, yeah? So my first one was Weaver. I know I'm Blacksmith now, but my first one was Weaver. Oh, I love this mount, the Cloud Mallow. And the first one was Weaver, yeah. So I've got that to level 60. And the last thing you want to do is go back down to level 1 gear and start doing it for the other 8 or 9 crafting quests that you've got. It's a real pain in the arse, and it's a real drag. And it was a drag through A Realm Reborn. You know, really hated it. Didn't want to do it, and it was boring as hell. So they've introduced, at level 50 and 60, Beast Tribe quests that only do crafters, yeah? So a good trick to do is take your level 60, which you've ground up from levy quests, class quests, and however else you want to do it, yeah? And then go to the Moogle, or go to the Ixali, I think, are the other Beast Tribe at level 50 that do it. And accept the quests, complete them, but when you turn them in, switch out to your weaker quest. And is this where we need to be? The Kupo tree, yeah. Switch out to your weaker level quest, and they'll get the experience. So you are... Thank you. So you are... Oh god, where's this one? What's this quest called? Trembling Finish. There it is. Tremble Finish. Tremble fishing, or whatever. Finishing, God's sake, learn to read. So you suddenly you're getting massive chunks of experience for your weaker classes without doing anything, you know. So I think I got 4 up to level 60 the old-fashioned way, and it took a long, I mean months to do that, and I did that sort of dedicating it to it. So you end up buying a lot of items or harassing other crafters for those items at high quality so they turn in more experience. Whereas the Beast Tribe thing lets you not do that, do it once a day and have more fun doing it. It's much less invasive and much more fun. So that is a massive thing that came out that I thoroughly enjoyed. Where is this Koopo? Koopo, he's not a Koopo, he's a Moogle. Ah, there he is. Hello sir, how are you? Monitoring, he's just staring at the crystal and I'm going to scare him. That one's done. See, that quest took what? 3 minutes, if that? We'll head over to here now. And you can see the variety of mounts you get are great. So you obviously get the Chocobo mounts. That I got for recruiting my brother to the game, so he can ride a bitch on the back of a Chocobo. The Fat Chocobo, you get the Magitech armors. Some are bought. I got that one from a store because there was a sale on. And that was a reward from an achievement. That was a standard one. A couple of Beast Tribe ones. You know, that was from A Realm Reborn, so I've only got one of the Beast Tribe ones, but that's my favourite. And then some other rewards. These are achievement based. Fenrir is probably one of my favourites. And then the Beast Tribe. And then like you get stuff like this. That was a Halloween mount. And I assumed that when the Halloween event was over, that was it, that mount would go, because it was maybe 3 quests and it gave you this mount. But no, look, it's still there. We've got all the mounts. All the ponies from the last expansion, and then the legendary pony from having all the ponies. And the story-based ones, and this is the new level of pony, it's the Eagles. I've only got one of them so far, because I've not dedicated that much time to doing it. But I will eventually, probably when the new expansion comes out and I can grind them all out without much effort. So we're going to see now how one of these crafting works. You see Hate Conclusions in the left side of the screen. Now it says I have to make something. And you don't go through your normal recipes, you go straight down special, and there it is, Moogle Quests. Okay, there it is, right there. And you can see that I'm level 60, I've got probably the 3rd to top tier of gear, and none of it's enchanted with materia. I've not put any materia in it at all. I don't even have to do any sort of rotation, and this is sort of where the rotation's laid out. I just do 2 moves, and there it goes. So even if your level 60 crafter isn't very high level, that's not a problem. I mean, this stuff is sort of geared towards starting level 50 crafters. So, yeah, a level 60 will have absolutely no trouble at all. Won't even have to concentrate on grinding this gear up. And like you can see, it doesn't take very long. Actually, the hardest thing is going through all the conversations to get it. So we'll pop the common mount, and we'll go and do the last one. And there he is, right there. Is that him there? Yeah, that's him there. So to the one person watching, if you have any questions, because I'm running out of things to say about Final Fantasy or a question on MMOs in general, then please help me out by saying something or typing something so I can answer a question rather than rambling on like a mental person about a game. You've probably got maybe... well, we'll see how it goes. I mean, I could end it early. Right, where are you? Up here or are you down there? He's down there. There he is, right there. See him. Seen the bugger. Mogwon. Synthesized training supplies. See another very easy one. Training supplies right up there. Some of the quests are high quality, so you will have to be careful and make sure you look at A, how many you need, and B, whether it's high quality or not. Because at the moment none of these are high quality, so I'm not improving their condition at all. I'm just going straight for the kill and straight to making them. So one cast all of those. Very easy to do. Which will get us closer. And the good thing is, now, grinding for your relic. Everyone wants the relic because it's an item that glows and looks very cool. So, what am I doing now? Oh, I've got to distribute these now. It looks very cool. And the way that they delivered the relic quests was to drip feed it to you over every sort of other update. And each step would be either relatively quick, it might take you a day or a week. And then there were some very large milestones, so the light grind, the item grind and crafting item grind, which could take you, well, if you don't dedicate to it, maybe a couple of months. As they sort of get through a certain amount of stages, so now they're obviously they're at the end, but it's only just the end. So the first, I would say, yeah, the first maybe 3 or 4 large grinds of the relic, they make a lot easier and a lot faster to do by making the items require less, cost less, or make their drop rate increase. Just so you always can catch up with players who have been there since the beginning. I have no doubt when my brother starts grinding for his level 60 relic, it will be a lot faster than when I did it, you know, and a lot easier too. So here we go, we're going to turn these in. I can't take any more experience because I'm max level, but look, there's more experience and there's more reputation. Give those in. Thank you, thank you. And you get these, which are Beast Tribe currency. And when you get those, you can exchange for specialist items. So how far off am I now from having that one done? Reputation, Moogles. So maybe another 4 or 5 days and that'll be done. The Vath and the Vanu are done already. So if you go over to the vendor, you see the normal items, which you get at increasing tiers through your reputation. So you might only have those at the start, maybe a few of those. Then when you get to the top, you get the really cool items. So that one there is the mount, which was that fluffy thing I showed you. And then if you go to Carved Coupon Exchange, this is the Beast Tribe currency specific items. And as you can see, the unidentifiable shells, and this is part of a relic quest which I'm doing for my second class, which I think is the 3rd stage. And yeah, it's already getting a lot easier to do this and more readily available. So one more day and I'll have enough to get another one of those. I need 10 each of these. And I can also do it by grinding out Law and Poetics, which I've not been doing, but, you know, stuff happens. I think that's about it. I'll show you, well, I'll show you the end relic, which you've seen before, is Cronus for the Dark Knight. There it is. A very cool and very tough 270 sword. Lots of loveliness there. The second one I'm doing is my Paladin, because I like the idea of a sword and shield. Oh, that didn't transfer over. I upgraded that gear the other day, so it didn't transfer over to that character. There we go. So his is still the most basic relic. So it's awoken, it's at the very start of its life, but already a very cool sort of wavy glow effect for the sword and shield. And then if we go to my warrior, where is he? My other tank. I'm a very tanky player. This is this is a 260 weapon, but as you can see, it's the basic weapon. It doesn't glow. It looks quite cool. It's quite strong. It's the second to... Oh, that helmet didn't transfer over either. It's the second to top of the Shire gear, so that can be upgraded to 270 through a weekly Alexander Savage quest, I think. And yeah, so it depends what you want. If you want just to go for the gear level very quickly, then the Shire gear is the way to go, which is also what all these items are called. This is the current gear set as well, this Shire gear. But I think it's definitely worth you going for at least one relic, because there's really no comparison with how cool the swords look. So now I can't think of anything else to say about Final Fantasy. I've done my dailies. I've not had any questions through, so I think I'll call it a day there. This may not have been very informative to you, but it's at least given you a chance to have a look at the game and what you can sort of expect if you get this game before Stormblood comes down in June. So I would say it's worth it. So I will leave it there, and thanks to the one person watching. I think you're watching. We'll see, yeah. And I will see you in the next one.